Hey everyone, welcome to another MLM dumpster fire. Today we're back to revisit our favorite power couple from Arbonne. It's our crew, Wade and Sandy, and this is a training call that has been sent to me. It's called Building an Arbonne Business the Simplest Way. Both of them are on this call. I have not watched anything at all, so we're blind reacting to it. I think it's gonna be fun because them two are known to be very cringy. She makes a lot of problematic statements and health claims and stuff, so I don't know what to expect, honestly. Before we get into it, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button if you would like to support my channel. That's a nice free way to do that. And as always, big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate you, and let's just get into this. I think it's about 40 minutes long. We're gonna be here for a while.
All right, welcome to today's multi-nation call. It is Monday, April 10th, 12:30 Pacific. We do this every single week. If this is your first time on the call, welcome. If this is your 150 time on the call, welcome. This is literally my favorite time of the week. I always look forward to us all coming together. Guys, there's so many network marketing companies and there's so many teams even within Arbonne, and a lot of people don't do weekly live calls. Like they might have like a pre-recorded thing like once a month or a couple times a year, but like our team does these every single week live. Like how cool that we get this. So if you are on today's call, it is not by accident. You are either in Kelly Junie's nation, Sandy and Wade's nation, Brianna Bosenko's nation, Kaylin Kukuska's nation, Margot Lloyd's nation, or Brooklyn Powell's nation. We all come together. This is our multi-nation call. So we do this every single Monday, and it's 30-minute shot of live inspiration. So myself and those other national vice presidents that I just listed, we rotate who leads the calls just to keep it fresh. And sometimes we do our own training. Sometimes we invite someone to come in. So this week is my week. And we always like regurgitate, like a lot of times we train on things that we need to hear ourselves, right? So I'm actually going to be kind of regurgitating something I recently heard. I'm adding more things to it as well. But this is going to be great. So if you're a pen and paper type of gal or guy like me, and you like to take notes.
Danny's been taking notes, preparing for this all morning and a little bit of yesterday. So I'm excited for it. I get a front row seat.
Yeah. So I'm going to do most of the beginning part of this call. And then I'm actually turning it over to Wade. He prepared a slideshow that's going to go into part of this that we're going to show you guys as well. So welcome to today's call. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Before we dive into the training, I wanted to show you something because I'm a visual person and I saw this week actually on Instagram. A teammate and a dear friend, Lisa Woodard, sent this to me and it literally brought me to tears. And I just thought it was so powerful, and it is the perfect kind of like, is analogy the right word or analogy of why a team is so important. So I want you to watch this closely. Chills. Okay. I
Apparently
mean,
they could.
All right, well, that brought me to tears as well. It's one of the cutest things that I have seen. I'm not gonna lie, but they are trying to use this cutest thing that we've seen in a while, I'm sure, to apply it to multi-level marketing. In multi-level marketing, the majority of people, 99% of them, are this kids. But even with the team trying to uplift them, they still don't make the jump. That's what happens to 99% of people who join multi-level marketing, Arbonne including. Arbonne's income disclosure statement is gonna be linked down below if you want to take a look. Having a good team, having all the support in the world doesn't matter when you're joining network marketing, because the odds are against you. The business is set up so that the majority of people are never going to make any profit. They're never going to succeed. It doesn't make a difference at all. So using something as cute and as sweet and wholesome as this to try and get people to stay in network marketing for longer, it should be a crime.
Couldn't hear it.
crap, you guys couldn't hear that. You didn't really need to hear it. It was about watching it. But if you got the concept, like I don't know if it's the pregnancy hormones or what, I'm like totally watery over here, but it's the concept of like, this kid is trying to jump over this thing and he keeps doing it and he keeps doing it and he keeps doing it. And he's like, you can see him after the third try, he's wiping away his tears and you can tell his like whole demeanor, his body language. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. And then on like the fourth attempt, you start seeing some of his classmates standing up and they all start rallying around him and they all are like cheering. I don't know what they're saying. It's not in English. And then he goes for it and he freaking clears that thing. And it's like, yes, I'm like so proud of him. And I had to show that to you guys because I'm like, that is like what we do, guys. Like we're better together. We're all better together. And that's like such a big reason why.
Sandy, how many people in your huge downline are profiting from Arbonne? No matter how much you uplift them, the majority of them are never going to succeed. They're never going to get to where you and Wade are. So Sandy, you need to stop.
I think it's so important that we pour into each other and like pop onto these calls together, and not just to fill your own cup, but to fill each other's cups. Like you being here is doing so much more than just for you. Like every square, every name I see on here is like bleeding into and having a ripple effect on all your other teammates. So thank you for being here. So I had to start with that. Okay, so now I'm going to pivot into the training. So if you've been around a while, you may have heard this, maybe you haven't, but there is a live training call every single Saturday morning at, I think it's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time that Donna Johnson puts on. Donna Johnson is like the second consultant that was ever in Arbonne. She's been in Arbonne for like around 40 years. Her direct sponsor is Arbonne. She doesn't have a sponsor. She's direct to Arbonne because there weren't people that signed up before her. So she has one of the most massive organizations in Arbonne, and she puts on this incredible thing called Go for Gold. And it's every Saturday. And there's actually a Go for Gold Facebook page. If you aren't in it, we'll pop that link in the...
I thought when you get to the top though, you don't have to work anymore and you're your own boss and stuff. And Donna, after 40 years and after being #1 rep in Arbonne, she's still working. Where's the retirement in that? She's been in Arbonne for 40 years. I wonder if she's ever gonna get to retire. Probably not. She's always gonna have to work because there's no retirement in MLMs.
Comments here so that you can add yourself to the Facebook group, but they stream the calls live. I think they max out at 1,000. So only the first 1,000 people get to be on the calls. And then after that, if you're not the first 1,000 to be on, you can watch the recording that's posted on the Facebook page later that day. So my training today is going to kind of be like a recap with some of my own tidbits in it as well from the Go for Gold call that was this past Saturday. So the gentleman that came on and trained, he's actually not an Arbonne. He is like a world famous network marketing professional and an author. He wrote this book that probably a lot of you guys have read, The 4-Year Career. That's kind of all about like network marketing and how if you're consistent and you stick with it in an average of about 4 years, you should have built something pretty significant in your company. And so
stop, what? His whole book is a lie.
some of the recaps of what he said that like I thought were so good, just a reframe of the way we think of things. And then we're going to go into some tangible things, and there's going to be kind of like a call to action or like a homework assignment at the end of this. So he said, what if, okay, and by the way, as I share all of this, there might be someone brand new on here. I just always want to say, if you want to learn what's typical, you can visit earnings.arbonne.com. A lot of this stuff is hypothetical, right? As I'm throwing out numbers or potential incomes, just know that we're just using hypothetical numbers. I'm not making any claims here, right? Okay, so he said, Richard Blissbrook is his name. He said, what if Arbonne changed our comp plan? Like, I want you to think about this. And there weren't levels and there weren't commission, but they paid you $500.
I'm just looking at his book and it's BS. Like, obviously I can't get it. You have to buy it. What are we talking about? The guy wrote a whole book on something that's not even real. Like, it doesn't matter how many years you spend in an MLM. Unless you joined very early at the very beginning of the MLM, or unless you have a huge following that you can recruit into your downline, you're never gonna get successful. It doesn't matter. There's only a few ways of you actually having a chance of being successful, and you actually have like 1% or less chances of ever profiting in an MLM. So it doesn't matter if you're working the hardest for 4 years, if you're doing all the things that they're teaching you, it's just not going to work for you.
$1 a day if you talk to one person a day. Put in the chat right now, would you do it? I want to know.
$500 a day is 15,000 a month.
Yeah, so if you knew, okay, I get paid $500 a day, 15,000 a month every single day, if I just have to share Arbonne with one person a day. I'm seeing a lot of yeses, definitely, hell yeah, hell yes, for sure, yes, yes, okay, 100%, yes, yup, I'm in.
Love it.
Like, everyone's like, oh yeah, this is
Oh,
easy,
yeah.
this is easy, right? Okay. And you had to do it every day. Arbonne would pay you 500 a day on average, or 15,000 a
I'd
month.
be like, Arbonne, what if I share with 3 people a day?
Imagine, you just do the math, right? So what we're paid for in network marketing is consistency. That's what we're paid for, right? And you realize, like, when you look at the Sandys and the Wades and the Kaylins and the Brees and the Margos and the Brooklyns and the Kellys, like, we have consistently shared Arbonne with at least one person a day for the past few years. We haven't done anything any of you can't do. We've just been consistent. And if I'm being honest, we've all probably done way more than one person a day, but imagine like that consistency and that compounding effect, right? So imagine if you told your story every single day to at least one person for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years is like his whole magic number, right? 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Imagine that like compounding effect and how you would have such exponential growth, right? So he talked a lot about how in being a professional network marketer, you need to be able to share your authentic story, like what the product really did for you, and the full thing, like what the income does for you, what the education, the personal growth, the weekly team calls, the travel, the community, the relationships, the people that you meet, like who you've become along the way, sharing that full story. It doesn't mean you have to be at the top of the company or make X amount of money. That doesn't matter to the outside world. The outside world does not know the difference between an independent consultant and an executive national vice president. That stuff we get caught up in our own head. What people do here and what
we actually know the difference, because you take a look at the income disclosure statement that shows you the potential, the earnings potential, as they said a few minutes ago. And you can see that there's a huge difference between like the people at the bottom who are independent consultants, they don't earn anything. There's a huge difference, and people are not stupid. Like, if you do basic research on MLMs, Arbonne specifically, find the income disclosure statement, and you'll see that there's a huge giant difference. I noticed this ages ago that Arbonne consultants usually don't even mention the independent consultant rank when they talk about the opportunity. I wonder why. A little bit misleading, eh?
people do know and feel is like your excitement and enthusiasm and energy around how you tell your story. Anyone can tell an amazing story, right? So if you would tell your story every single day for a couple of years, eventually that compounding effect would catch up. But this is the one thing, if you ever miss a day, you've broken the cycle, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, it only takes 5 or 10 minutes a day. Like, are we really consistently doing it every single day?
So you can't have any holidays or anything like that because you have to do this shit for every single day for 4 years. Okay, great start, Sandy. I'm already invested in this opportunity. Like, who doesn't want to work every day for 4 years?
Or are we using busy, like I'm using excuses like I'm too busy, or I'm trying, or I was moving, or I was this, or is that? Because Arbonne isn't paying us for our excuses, right? They're not paying us for that. They're paying us to show up and tell that story every single day. So
they're paying you maybe, but the majority of people in Arbonne never make any profit. Even if they're paying you, you might not be profiting. Well, the majority of people aren't profiting. So
let's see.
Should we share the penny example?
Yeah, I really like this. So
first, pose the question.
Okay, so a lot of you may have heard this before, but we're just going to have fun with this. So if you could get paid $1 million right now, or choose 1 penny a day, doubled every day for 30 days, what would you choose?
Type it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. $1 million right now, or a penny a day, doubled every day for 30 days. Penny, 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 penny.
Penny. People don't want $1 million.
A lot of personal growth people here that probably have already heard the story, right? Okay, so the compounding effect is huge, right? It's that concept of consistency, which is like a big focus of today's call. So,
You want me to share this?
yeah, share this.
So
Share, yeah, screen.
it's the power, yeah, the compound effect, right? And so a penny doubled every day. Like you start out with a penny. You're like, what? How a penny doubled every day? If you haven't heard the story, almost everyone says $1 million. Hi, Cameron. Day 2, you have 2 cents. Day 10, you have $5.12. Day 15, you have $164. You're like, wow, I'm halfway through the month. The other person has $1 million. I could have had $1 million. I have $164. Day 20, you're at 5,243. It's like, oh, why didn't I take the million? I only have 10 days left. Day 25, you're at 167,000. You're at a little under 17% of $1 million. You have 5 days left. But here's what starts to happen. 335, day 27, 671, day 28, 1.3 million. Day 29, 2.6 million. Day 30.
Excellent story. Again, that doesn't work in MLMs. That's not how it goes. It's complete BS, in my opinion, to manipulate people. And I personally believe that both Wade and Sandy know what they're doing. They're doing this on purpose to manipulate people.
$5,368,709. How like crazy is that? Now, what I do want to do is do one thing. What Richard said was, what if you just did every other day?
Look what Wade's doing on Excel. I would not know how to do this if, no, I could never know how to.
Like, so
what do you
imagine
think?
just working your business every day. This is the compound effect. This is what he talks about in the 4 years. Imagine you just shared your story with one person a day for 4 years on average, right? It's hypothetical, but it's that $5 million. Now let's just like, you do it every other day. Like, oh, I'm busy. I'm a parent. I'm busy. Do you know anyone in your life that's not busy? Like if you could find someone in the world that's not busy, like, let me know. Everyone's busy, right? But we all have excuses. We all have all the things. I'll just do work every other day. I'll share my story every other day. Look at what happens. This penny is doubled every other day. You have $163 at the end of the month because consistency compounds, right? Every day compounds. If it's every other day, you have $163. If it's 30 days straight, you have 5.3 million. Now that's just an example.
I hope that visual helps you see that. I thought that was really cool way of like breaking it down. So it really what we do in Arbonne, guys, like the number one fundamental tool that we need to master is sharing our story and telling it every single day. It doesn't need to take you a long time. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right?
Right. If you're telling your story every single day, the people that are actually following you and that had any interest into your content are going to lose that interest very quickly because you're sharing the same story over and over again every single day, but neglecting those people that are actually following you who maybe actually have some interest in your content. So that's like the worst social media advice that you can probably give to someone.
Even just in this past week and a half, we've moved to Colorado. We moved to a new state and we've been very much in the grind of like unpacking and blah, blah, blah. And I realized I'm still sharing my story every day. The guy that came and painted our house, he's like, what do you guys do? I tell him the full Arbonne story. He's drinking fizz, right? Yeah. The amazing house cleaning team that came and cleaned.
Okay, I forgot that these people actually talk to people in real life as well. So I guess that's a different thing. But like, you're not gonna meet someone new every single day that you can share your story with.
They're drinking fizz. I'm telling them all about Arbonne. Like
our movers,
they know all about Arbonne.
Fueled
like,
by fizz.
Yeah, like everyone that comes in contact with the Critties, they know about
barbers.
Arbonne.
They're like, never heard network marketing talked about in that way. Like, oh, you make it seem so refreshing. Like that's the goal, right?
Yes. So don't think of it as, oh, I'm so busy and I don't have time to fit this in my life. You fit it into your life. The people that come into your path are not coming into your path by accident. They may never join you. They may never buy a product, but your job is not to control that they join you or control that they buy product. Your job is to simply share your story, right?
Yes, Paige, Tim, the handyman, fizz. So you better get on it because she referred us her.
Yeah, you better get on it, girl.
Or else I will enroll your handyman.
Okay, so yeah, I love that part. Okay, let's see. Double your story, then please show your story. So yeah, if you aren't consistent, you'll never reach that $5 million example, right? That's the same thing in Arbonne. If you aren't consistent, you'll
Family business.
never reach that executive national vice president title. The only difference between
I'm gonna blur their kid, but look, oh, that is a very cute child.
a new consultant and a seasoned 4-wide ENVP is we've shared our story with a lot more people and we've heard a lot more no's, right? Or a lot more unreads or a lot more, I'm not interested, right? It's just a numbers game, guys. Arbonne is not magic, it's math. And the cool thing is we all have control. If you only talk to 10 people about Arbonne for the rest of the year, I can tell you where your business is going to be, right? But if you're consistent and you share with at least one person a day, you're going to be in exponential growth. He ended the call with sharing how many network marketing calls or companies do you think have failed since Arbonne started 43 years ago? And he had people like guessing hundreds of thousands of network marketing companies. And he was like 95 to 98% of network marketing, well, any business, but network marketing businesses too, fail within the first 5 years. And he was like, if I'm being honest, I work with a lot of network marketing companies. There's only about 20 of them that are solid. And you guys in Arbonne are in a legacy network marketing company. Like you should be so proud of.
He was like, you guys are lucky, honestly, that like Arbonne was the one. Some people have know a lot of network marketing companies, maybe have done some others. And so you come in with this different knowledge and you're like, I'm going to pick Arbonne because I love it and it's smart and it's legacy. Most of us like got lucky that Arbonne entered our life. And it's like one of like the top 10, top 5. Obviously we believe top 1, but like if you're going to join one and you understand network marketing, Arbonne is at like that short list of names. Like we're just lucky that Arbonne came into our life.
Yeah. And what I love to highlight too, guys, is like, you really need 4 things to be successful in what we do, right? You need to believe in the industry. Like you need to believe in network marketing as a whole. And how do you do that? You need to build that. You need to become a student of network marketing. You need to build that muscle. You need to build that belief. You need to be reading some of these books. I can give you a list of great, really easy books to listen to, podcasts to listen to. If you've never seen the documentary, The Rise of the Entrepreneur, go Netflix and chill that tonight. Like watch these things, educate yourself, become a student. Imagine if you treated this like, you know, like if you were going to college and you had to pay $100,000 a year in tuition to like get your 4-year degree, like you would treat it like a business. You'd treat it seriously, right? Like you'd have all the textbooks, you'd be sitting in front of the class, you'd be taking great notes, you'd be doing the extra credit, you'd be creating study groups, you'd be a student, you'd take that seriously. Imagine if you treated Arbonne like that. What if you took out $100,000 loan to start this business? That's what most businesses, at least a brick and mortar, costs, right? But because there's such a small fee to get to join, a lot of people don't take it seriously. But we want to teach you how to take this seriously. We want to teach you how to, you know, prioritize this. So the 4 things you need are to believe in the industry, to believe in the company. Hopefully you believe in Arbonne. Hopefully you know the story, the history. You're like so in love with our story and what we have to offer, how it sets us apart. You need to believe in our products. You need to have your own testimonial, right? You can't be like Sling and Fizz, but like you're still wearing like Maybelline makeup. Like, are you all in, right? Like, are you all in? Like, are you a walking billboard for everything that we have to offer? If Arbonne has it, you want to be using it, right? And then the 4th thing, and for me, this was the hardest, and I think this is the hardest for a lot of people, is you need to believe in yourself. And that one can be really, really challenging, especially just.
Yeah, it's challenging, but like you can believe in yourself all you want. You can be the most confident person in the world if you don't have a big following, if you didn't join early enough before the MLM became oversaturated, you're just not gonna succeed. So this is probably like our boy Bob last week that we watched. It's gonna be like 40 minutes of useless advice that's not applicable to a multi-level marketing company.
With the head trash and the limiting beliefs. And that's why we say this is a personal development company that's disguised as a health and wellness company.
That is so cringy, Sandy. Stop it.
Your mindset, if you master building your belief, if you master these mundane things like sharing your story with one person a day, every day, imagine where you're going to be 4 years from now. So with all that said, we wanted to pivot into something else he talked about, which I haven't touched on yet, was a little bit more about how to share that story. And Wade created a little slide that he's going to go through. So you want to pivot into that?
Yeah. And before I do, thank you, Sandy, for that. And Richard Blissbrook's training, I think it's posted on most of our bands. And if not, you can ask for it, but it was incredible. There's like a 5-minute technical difficulty in the middle. You skip through that. It was amazing. and he's 45 years into this industry. He's built to the top of companies, and now he's a coach trainer, kind of retired from it. But coming back to, I love how where Sandy started and Richard started, like, what if your job was just to share your story with one person a day? Like, most of us probably have employee mindsets, and even use that to benefit you.
In my opinion, what they're doing here is they're oversimplifying what it means to be in an MLM and all the things that you have to do as an MLMer. They said a lot of it is hypothetical, but it's like, but if it is, then what is the point of this whole training if it's all going to be hypothetical? You join an MLM, your job, not even a job because you're not getting paid for it, but it's not going to be just to contact one person a day. So what is the point of us sitting here for 40 minutes thinking about made up scenarios that are never going to happen, that are not true?
Really need to ultimately develop an entrepreneurial mindset. But what if you just channeled it? You're like, okay, what if it was like, okay, I get paid $500 today if I share my story with one person, meaning someone says yes, I share it, a video. That's it. I get paid $500 every day. And so every day I go to work, if I just get one person to watch.
But you don't. So what is the point?
Watch my 90-second video, I get paid $500. If you have an employee mindset, develop that. Entrepreneurial mindset is, I'm going to do that, and I know I'm going to get paid probably nothing today, or not much today, or I might get a sale and make a commission. But if I do that consistently and compound, I'm going to be paid $500 a day 4 years in or 2 years in or whatever. The speed doesn't matter. It's up to you and your effort.
Residually for the rest of my life.
I'll all of a sudden get paid $500 a day, or most likely more, a lot more, every single day, no matter what. Even eventually, if I share my story or not with anyone, because now my ripple effect, my impact, the leverage that this business model can bring you is absolutely incredible. But if you need to in the beginning, be like, I work today. When one person shares my story. If you need to have that employee mindset, do it. Know that entrepreneurially, by doing that every day and consistently compounding it, and guys, you don't have to stop at 1, go 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, whatever you want. But obviously the amount of people you share your story with and connect with on Arbonne, like, that's just going to speed up your results. But what if you just thought about it that way? So some people, Sandy's like, come from the heart, speak, train. I'm going to come in like, okay, share my story. Strengths. What does that mean? I wanted to conceptualize this, make like a system out of it, do for visual learners, a little presentation. I'll probably be 10, 15 minutes. We might run over a little bit, but I'm going to share my screen. I even like jazzed it up a little bit. I usually have super basic. Can you guys see my screen? Anyone get a thumbs up? Okay. Play from start, creating my story. Cool. Just my story. It's your story. It's art. It's cool. So I'm like, all right, that's a cool art thing. All right. What's the goal? So the goal is to share your authentic story, like your testimonial, in under 90 seconds. So very quick. We're removing the barrier of entry, right? Of like, will you watch this 30-minute video? Will you hop on a call? Will you this right away? It's like, just quick. Like, anyone in the world can watch a 90-second video. So share in under 90 seconds in a way that inspires other people, that if this can be right for you, maybe it could be right for them. Make it easy for people to say yes to a 90-second video of you sharing your story. Everyone has 90 seconds. The video, what the video does is it's just the gateway, right? It opens up the conversation about Arbonne and your story. The goal obviously is to connect on how it could serve them through the products or the business or both. So it's not just like, oh, I shot off my story, I shot off my video, no, the goal is to get into a conversation and ultimately probably book a one-on-one or a 3-way call or further the conversation of how it can help them. All right, here's the simple creating my story structure, right? So answer these 5 questions, or the first isn't a question, but the intro. Hi, I'm Wade Critides, and this is my Arbonne story. Number 2, where were you at in life before you started Arbonne? Because you're best suited to serve the person you were right before you said yes. So who is that? All of this should be authentic. It shouldn't be Sandy's story or Kaylin's story or anyone else's story. It should be yours. And there's power in your story. And it doesn't matter if you're brand new and you don't have quote unquote success yet or anything, we'll get there. So where were you right before you started Arbonne? What were your pain points? Why did you decide to start an Arbonne business? How did you see Arbonne solving those pain points? 4, what were your hesitations? Relate to people. All of this should be relatable. This 90-second video isn't like a puff piece for you. Like, look at me. It's all about me. Yes, I get to talk about myself for 90 seconds and I'm training myself right now. It's how can someone relate to me through this? How could someone watch this and relate to my story, relate to my pain points, relate to why I said yes, relate to my hesitations and how I got over them? And then number 5, what has your Arbonne business done for you? Even if you're new and it's like, wow, my health is flourishing. I'm connected to this community. Even if you're not even a district manager yet, you haven't promoted or whatever, even if you're brand new, or if you're a year in and you're an independent consultant, what has it done for you? Has it increased your confidence? Have you gained community from it? Have you gained health? Or maybe you've you've gotten in the Benz or whatever, like share your story. But what has the Arbonne business done for you? Or if you haven't built that quote unquote success story yet. And of course it can be the other things. It doesn't have to be the title. People don't care about titles, really. They just care about what it's done for you. Where do you envision it taking you? I see Arbonne being this vehicle. I see it being a vehicle for me to get my time back, to bring me home, to impact others, to give more, bless more, love more, whatever it is. Here's my sample. I wanted to get this on video right before, but I was trying to find good lighting and it was 5 minutes before and I didn't get it done. But
You're going to record the video right after. You're going to post it with.
I'll record it and post it. I probably need to cut 15 seconds off. I'll go through this. Hi, I'm Wade Critides, and this is my Arbonne story. Before I started my Arbonne business, I was in a place of complacency and I wanted more out of life. Have you ever felt like...
Is he just gonna read his story to us now? Interesting how this call is called Building an Arbonne Business in the simplest way, but they didn't talk about the actual business and selling products at all. The only thing that they're talking about is sharing your story.
That, like you were made for more than your current circumstances. I was in a job in finance that paid me well, but I had no passion over. I was on the hamster wheel of life and I didn't have any autonomy or freedom in my life. I was seeking to be the CEO of my life. I just didn't know how.
Remember when he said that he was told that he can't wear a lavender suit to work, and that's what he said was the last straw for him to stop working in the finance industry. I think lavender suits are great. I also understand that some places have certain uniforms and certain rules on how people should dress. I used to work in a store where I wore dark blue pantsuit because that was our dress code, so I didn't think that was all that bad.
What I did want, I wanted to start a family and be a present father. I wanted to travel the world and work from anywhere. And I wanted to make an impact on people's lives and really have a passion for what I did. When you're seeking something, it's seeking you. You just have to be open to opportunity. Arbonne entered my life and it wasn't by chance. At first, it was the products that started to change my family.
I love the dig there at working parents. He wanted to start a family and be a present father, implying that if you do work, if you don't work from home, or if you're not an entrepreneur, you're not a present parent, which is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit because you can be at home, but you can be a non-present parent. You have to be mentally present as well. You being physically at home, it doesn't mean that you're a present parent.
Family's health. Simply by switching things we are already using, nutrition, personal care, and skincare, to cleaner, healthier, and more effective Arbonne products. But when my wife and I took a look at the business model, a light bulb went off. This business model could change our family's life. While I saw that you could make a few hundred to a few $1,000s a month working this business part-time, what really drew me in was the income potential of the top of the company, where the average monthly income was $21,000 per month, with the ability to make far more than that. My wife, Sandy, and I had all the hesitations. What would people think? We didn't have time to start a business. We weren't salespeople, but we quickly realized other people's opinions don't pay our bills, and this would be an opportunity we could learn as we go and create time in our life. We decided to jump in together, head first into this business, and fast forward a few years later, and we reached the top of the company and are living the life of our dreams with freedom to work on our own time, spend time with our children, travel the world, and make a big impact in other people's lives. Arbonne may be a fit for you, or it may not.
The only people that you're impacting is yourself, because you're reaping the benefits off of the hard work of your downline. Your downline, they don't make any profit. The majority of them are not successful. So their downline is giant. And if they're so successful, if this is a great business opportunity, I would love to see the numbers and like how many people in their downline do they have and how many of those people are actually making really good profit. Of course, we're never going to get that because the majority of their downline is not successful and they don't want to say this. They don't want to admit that.
But I encourage you to take a look. It could very well change your life. Thanks for listening to my story. Have an epic rest of your day. So
Good job, babe.
thank you. So that's probably, I think it's 2 minutes last time I did it. I need to cut a little bit out. When I first sat down to do it, don't overthink this. It was like 5 minutes. I had way too much to write. I'm still going to record the 5-minute one because that'll be good. The more content, the better. But I really want to chisel down to this 90-second because everyone has 90 seconds. So finishing up here, I'm going to give you guys some scripts. This isn't like the only way to do it. This is just an example that you can go off, make it yours, make it custom to you.
Don't overthink it, guys. Done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. You might like 3 months from now be like, I'm going to record a new 90-second because I actually have a new testimonial and that's great. But sharing your story, how to ask if you're new to the business. So you're new. You don't really have, you're just starting, you're launching, right? I might in the DMs or text or whatever, send Ashley this message. Maybe it's via voice memo, maybe it's via text, you decide. Hi, Ashley, insert something personal basic. I saw you were just in Europe. Your trip looked epic. Okay, I have a favor to ask you. I just started my own health and wellness business with Arbonne, and a part of launching is sharing my story with my network. Now, that always end with a question. Every interaction, not let me know, not anything. Always end with a question. If I sent you a 90-second video of me sharing my story, or if it's only a minute, say a minute, would you watch it? After they respond yes, some people won't respond. Most people won't say no. But after they respond yes, you're the best. Okay, here it is. Check it out, and I'd love to get your feedback after. After you've watched, could you share with me something that jumped out at you from my story and insert your video link? Now, just continue the conversation, right? The goal isn't just to send the video, it's to continue conversation. And ultimately, right, they might become a client or a teammate of yours, but it's for you to offer it to them, find their pain points, find things where Arbonne could help solve a problem in their life. Like that's the goal. After they respond with something like, I love how passionate you are about it. I enjoyed your story. I appreciate you. With this business, I can now help people in their health and or in their finances through this business opportunity. What is your interest level? This is just an example. It's not the only thing. What is your interest level in A, healthy products, or B, another income stream? I did this right before. That's not perfect. But what I mean is like, just keep asking, keep offering. So that, again, I ended with a question. From there, keep asking questions.
Or could you ever see yourself doing
Could
something
you ever
like
see
this?
yourself
Are you
doing something
open
like
to an
this?
extra stream of earnings?
Are you open to learning more? Yeah. The goal of the video, it's the Trojan horse, right? It's the gateway. It's the first exposure to just for them to hear, even get a sense for what the heck Arbonne is or your story. The goal from there, I think, really is to get them on a one-on-one call or meet them one-on-one or invite them to an event, or if you do three-way calls.
Here's the interesting thing about this. Like they're saying, oh, hypothetically, if you just share your story with one person per day, it's only 10 to 15 minutes. What? Only to share your story. But now we get to the part where you have to go on one-on-one calls with these people. That's not going to be only 10, 15 minutes. Come on. Especially when you're mass messaging, cold messaging people on social media. Where do you put that in your schedule? If you have kids, if you're already working full time, where do you have the time for all of that? And the most important thing is that you're not getting paid for any of that work. You're doing all of that because you have less than 1% of chances of getting money in the future for that work.
If your upline does that, a three-way call with your upline, especially if you're brand new, right? We're going through a new person. Utilize your upline like when you're not ready to share the full Arbonne story yet, but keep asking questions. Where are their pain points? How can you serve them? And with that goal of really getting on a call to share the full Arbonne story, because that 90 seconds can only cover so much. It's the inspiration for them to be like, oh, I'm open to a call. So sharing your story, how to ask if you're not new to the business. If you're not new, use your judgment based on the person. Be direct if you want them on your team, or go into it from the angle of asking for referral or spreading your word of mouth business. So here's an example again. Hi, Ashley. Saw you just got your yoga teacher training, whatever, something personal, like, oh my gosh, looked awesome. Okay, I have a favor to ask you. I'm always looking to share my story and see how I can help people. I just recorded a 90-second video of my story with Arbonne. I do believe you totally rock at this business because you're a natural born leader, but would you do me a favor and watch this video of my story and give me feedback? even see if anyone comes to mind it relates to. After they respond, yes. Again, not everyone will just say,
Such a generic cold message. Jesus Christ. Like, I'm pretty sure the majority of people who spend quite a bit of time on social media, like interacting with other people on social media, they don't even read these kind of messages anymore. They're so generic, so like empty. Nope, delete, don't respond.
yes. But I think a lot of people will, because it's an easy ask. You're the best. Okay, here it is. After you've watched, could you share with me something that jumped out at you from my story? Send the link. After they respond again with something like, I love how passionate you are about it. I enjoyed your story. I appreciate you. Maybe take your shot. I totally see this for you. Affirm them, compliment them. You're a leader. You're into health and wellness. You have such a great network. I know you have a heart for helping others, whatever it is. I'm just going to shoot my shot. I'd love to get on a 20-minute call. Again, one-on-one or three-way, you decide, to see if this could be a fit for you or not. It may be or it may not, but you never know until you know. Would you be open to that? Again, being direct, shooting my shot, affirming them, ending with a question. Because when there's a question, they feel inclined to answer, right? From there, handle hesitations, objections, talk through asking questions, letting them talk. Don't force it, but the goal is to present the full Arbonne story to them through asking, like keep on asking questions with the goal of understanding what they want and need in their life. What are their pain points, how to serve them. All right, call to action to end it. So next steps. Basically, to sum this all up, how simple
Pain points, it's so disturbing when they say pain points. Really shows like how manipulative this whole thing is. Like, you have to manipulate these people into joining the MLM so that you can get financial benefits. Yeah.
is this business really? We overcomplicate it. It's just like, I just have to share my story with one person a day. And I just create a 90-second video once, maybe that you can redo whenever, but once. And then I just really have to ask people to check it out and then offer it and educate them on Arbonne and all the things, right? What if we just made it that simple? And of course, if you want to go faster, you do more, but the next steps, take 30 minutes max. Trust me, you don't want to like brain damage. Like, it's more relatable not to have this perfect script, but 30 minutes max to write your 90-second or less my story using, I'll post and share a creating my story template with those 5 questions. 2, record your video by reading your script, but make it feel story mode and not just reading words, right? That's what I'm still figuring out, because I now have this like script. I'm like, how do I read that without, that thing? You'll figure it out. 3, upload it to a video platform. Instagram, why not? Content is the new currency. Just share it everywhere. Or YouTube. I would definitely do Instagram and Facebook, but also put it on YouTube or Vimeo. So like, not everyone has Instagram, right? But like, where you can just share a link and no matter what, they can click it and it'll go to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and I'm going to share probably the YouTube link, maybe the Instagram link if I'm on Instagram DMing. 4, ask 5 people a day minimum if you can share your story with them, and then actually share it with at least one person. What if that was just like your call to action? Like, you're just like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to share it. Keep doing what you're doing. But what if you tested this? We aren't saying this is the only way to build it, but it was a really cool, really simple way. Further, if you want to go faster, ask a lot more people than 5, with the goal of sharing your story where the video they're watching with 5, 10, 20 people a day. I know there's some people in this call like, I want 20 people to watch my story every day because I want to be in 20 conversations. That's going to be, you're going to go a lot faster than sharing with 5 people a day or 1 or whatever. And as you go along, these scripts aren't perfect. They're just a starting point. They're an example. Adapt your strategy and scripts. The more you do it, the more you'll understand what works, and you'll find your lane, right? With how you share it, how you ask questions, follow up. And really the goal, what if you duplicated this to your team? Like, that's it. So what we'll share with this, I'll share this PowerPoint. I have,
Was that helpful, guys?
yeah, was that helpful to see? I have this, my story template with the 5 questions, all the things, but figured it would be good. Oh, I'm gonna stop share to see and visualize that and have that as like a resource, because I really think for most people, just to keep this super simple, have a goal of sharing your story with one person a day. And let's not overthink the recording of the story. That should not take like 2 hours. Like, it should be simple.
It's all hypothetical, right? So you're not actually talking to just one person a day. It's not actually about just talking to one person a day. So I don't understand. I mean, I do understand they're trying to simplify it when it's actually not. They mentioned multiple times that you do have to hop on calls with every single person. That's very time consuming. Like, it's not just talking to one person a day. It's ridiculous. Like, people don't have time for this crap. And also, they are doing it in order to get paid, they're not getting paid for it, then what is the point? It's literally a waste of their time and effort.
Hour or less for the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm excited to create mine. So I would love to see all of yours. I hope everyone puts this into action and doesn't overthink it and just,
And
makes
when
it
you do the
happen.
first stream of consciousness and write your story, like it might be a 5 minute, do it. Keep the 5 minute and then cut it down to 90 seconds and share your 90 seconds. Put your 5 minute out there. Put it on Instagram, put it everywhere. Like the more content, the better, right? But
and I think too, like you could even get creative with like, yes, you could share it on your stories. Like, what if once a week or a couple times a week, you were like, have you ever caught my 90-second story? Like, or if you even incentivize people, like, have you ever wanted to try fizz? Okay, I'm going to send you a sample pack of like one flavor of each fizz if you watch my 90-second video that I'm going to post next and tell me what stuck out at you the most. Like you can get really creative in how you do this and just like pump it out in different streams in different ways.
here's one more thing.
Super simple.
98% of people won't like treat this business seriously and do what it takes and be like, so if someone comes in, they're like, I want to go straight to MVP, like they could use the system, but just do it a lot more, but they might have their own strategy. What this system is it is duplicatable and is simple for every.
Love that shade, Wade. Did that kind of rhyme? 98% of people in Arbonne aren't successful because they're just not doing it right. Yeah.
Everyone, even the person that just wants to come in and buy products at a discount and dabble a little bit and whatever, like it makes it really simple, right? There's less barrier. Like not to say this replaces anything, but just like, what if your daily method of operation was to share with one person a day, have one person watch your story? Pretty simple. So I think that's all we got today. Real quick screen share of, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the new independent consultant starter offers. So Arbonne's offering these things where it's $99, which we all agree is a good thing to start a business because that's the cheapest business ever. But it's a little more than 49, right? Where it's like, okay, I'm serious. You don't want someone to buy just for the discount. They're better off being a preferred client. You want someone to start a business if they want to start a business. They get a free gift with the 99 too. That didn't happen before with the 49. So all of a sudden they're kind of getting their money back, right? Fizz or whatever. Then there's 2 starter bundles right now. They might add to this, but the Healthy Habits set, and they get 50% off, which is cool. And the Healthy Glow Starter bundle, which is like kind of the healthy habits plus the derm results, which is cool because they get to try nutrition and skincare right from the get-go. And when their order hits 250 QV plus, they get a free full-size gift plus that free gift. So up to $212 worth of free gifts. So these are really cool, like starter bundles, especially this one for people just to try our derm results and try our nutrition. Obviously we all love the 30 days. So that's an option too.
I'm still going to lead with that, but these are great starter bundles.
Yeah.
Last thing, I want to share one more thing. If you don't mind pulling up the Go for Gold Facebook page, I want to post that in the chat. So if you guys aren't on the Go for Gold Facebook page, this is where you can catch those recordings of like the Saturday training. But the last thing I want to share, I need to shout out Executive Area Manager and my dear friend Paige McCarthy for sharing this book. It's called The Self-Aware Leader by John Maxwell. If you don't know who John Maxwell is, guys, he is incredible. But we started a book club. Our first book club meeting is tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Oh my God. Okay, I think I've heard enough. I'm gonna stop that there. MLM book club is something that I don't want to be a part of. I'm losing out on daylight very quickly and my camera starts flickering in the background when it gets really dark outside. So I'm gonna wrap that one up here. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like I said before, these 2 people, in my opinion, are very manipulative. I think they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what words to use to manipulate their downline and everyone else who was watching this. Also building a business, but not talking about the business itself. It's a little bit red flaggy. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. It means a lot to me. And of course, it helps my YouTube channel the longer you watch the videos. And don't forget to click the like and subscribe button if you'd like to support my channel. That's a nice free way to do that. And as always, big shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for being here and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.